Hi you guys, my name is Guru Shakia and welcome to my beautiful channel. I am in nature right now. Okay, so today I just wanted to free talk about gender roles, and this is a live stream, so any of you guys who are watching this, or if you tend to catch it after I post it, you can still post your opinions or what you think. But I've stumbled upon this wonderful thing called feminism. Even though I'm 24, I'm just now becoming enlightened in the subject of what a feminist is. I even consider myself one. I'm still learning and growing and still, trying to finalize my opinions on certain topics. But as I learned about feminism, I'm also learning about gender roles. And basically, what like gender roles can be considered this thing we've been taught, this conditioning that's been taught to us as children of, you know, what boys should be like, what girls should be like, and so forth. And really, there's kind of like no escaping. If you've grown up in a society where uh, your household is very traditional in that way, like boys were gifted blue toys, girls were gifted pink things, toads talked about women were talked about doing stuff in the kitchen, and most likely boys were talked about doing mechanical things or pursuing these high status careers. But yeah, I kind of wanted to see what you guys thought about gender roles in this society today. Whether you guys kind of think it's necessary, or if it's outdated, or if we're heading a total new direction as far as like what men and women can do, as far as the opportunities today in our society. I guess I can talk about what I think about gender roles too, to kind of get this topic started. But obviously, for example, being a woman, since I learned about feminism, has kind of changed my point of view of like what a feminine woman is. Meaning, for example, when I decided to cut my hair, to me, I felt more feminine. Because I noticed being taught in a society that I grew up in, everyone desires women to have long hair. Or, I always heard guys say, like, oh, like girls are supposed to have long hair, that determines your beauty, how pretty you are, etc. But I think as I learned about feminism and how to get intact with what I feel being a woman is, I kind of learned that I can form my own opinion. So cutting my hair made me feel more feminine, as opposed to society saying, you should have long hair. Some people believe that women shouldn't have many tattoos on their body. But again, that is something that makes me feel like a goddess. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about these things. I noticed that a lot more people are becoming more accepting of gender roles, of people switching roles, as far as like Jaden Smith, he wears skirts and dresses now. I think that's really dope, actually, in my opinion. It's very bold, and a lot of people are putting themselves out there in that way. And I do feel like it should be, equal thing that guys get to play with, girls' style of dress, because women have always been, gifted the ability to not be judged by dressing tomboyish and things of that nature. Um, let's see what else. I have a friend that she always talks about, how the sexes are set up, and she oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. She noticed that we both noticed that at a very young age, boys are taught to strive for higher status careers, and a lot of women seem to complain that there's not enough women in those statuses, like CEOs, business women, and it is still very lacking today. And it's not to say that women aren't capable or incapable of doing that. I feel like we've just been so conditioned to like not want to strive for those positions. Kind of like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I wish when I was a little girl, I was introduced to things the same way guys were introduced to certain things. Meaning, for example, I took up skateboarding very late in my life, because it's one of those things that boys do it. And I feel like if I was gifted the ability to have that later, I mean, earlier in my life, I would have been like a dope ass skater by now. But of course, I'm speaking mostly from the woman's point of view because I'm a woman, but I want to know what guys think too about like the gender roles. Like if they're still, I noticed growing up, especially in America, like it's changing nowadays, but the dog is playing back there. It's changing a lot nowadays, but um, what men I often wonder like, if men still want these like very submissive women who stay at home while they go out and make the bread. I think that's changed drastically in these times. But I'm still trying to form my opinion because I do, as a feminist now, as I'm learning more about these things, I do feel like a woman should be able to provide for herself. Because I think growing up and being a child who watched Disney all the time, we're always taught, like women are always taught, oh, we should aspire to have a man save us. But for me, you can be waiting forever, like literally forever, and that would just really suck. Like, what if Prince Charming just never comes to save you, and and so I guess to me it helped me form an opinion. Well, like women should be able to provide for themselves because I do feel like that in itself is an outdated thing. Especially again growing up with Disney and things like that, we're taught to have this mentality of like Captain Save Me syndrome. But then I started to question myself as far as to say, well, then if I think that, do I still want a provider? Do I still want a man who can provide for me? Because I did grow up feeling like, from my mother's perspective and things like that, she always, would slyly put things in there like, oh, find a man to take care of you, find a rich man, things like that. But I feel, so now I'm kind of on this, I'm like, if I feel like women should provide for themselves, what do I feel about men who still want to provide and things like that? So I'm kind of trying to form an opinion on that. I feel like, I do feel like women should be as competent as men are in certain things, but I do understand that there's so much conditioning put into play of like, even though it seems like there's so many more opportunities for women, for example, we still have no interest in certain things. Like I feel like maybe it'll become a time where we get gear towards certain interests of men as far as careers. But you do have women who want to be like mechanics, and then like girls who seem to stumble upon these things and want to be these things. I wish I can give you guys more of a male point of view. I wish I had a male here to explain gender roles and like how tough it is for men. But for women, yeah. I'm trying to see what else they feel about gender roles. This is pretty much a free talk. If you guys want to input what you think. As far as gender roles, though, I feel like I'm still learning about these things, but I do feel very open about it. Like I feel like women and men should be able to veer on each side if they choose. Um, yeah, and something is being able to cut my hair has made me determine that opinion for myself. We get to basically decide for ourselves what we want to be. It shouldn't be this thing where we're taught like you can only play with these certain things, have these certain jobs, these certain interests. And it shouldn't really even determine how manly or womanly you are actually. Like, for example, cutting my hair doesn't make me any less of a woman. If a man is interested in sewing, kitchen things, all these traditional things that were taught to be for women, fashion design, all these things, it shouldn't determine how manly a man is. Even if he doesn't make six figures, for example, it shouldn't determine, even if he doesn't choose to have a provider role, probably shouldn't determine, how manly he is. And the same for women. If she, wants to be more into manly things, it shouldn't determine manly things. So I guess as we grow as a society, if we learn how to kind of loosen up those labels, which I feel it'll get there. I feel like it is getting there, kind of as we grow as a collective. Yeah, so that's my little 2 cents, I guess. But yeah, hope you guys are having a good day. Be dope, be you unapologetically. Peace.